What's up, everybody? Today, I'm gonna. I don't really have any spooky, scary, ghostly, ghastly stories in my memory bank, in my brain. Uh, I say this because it is October, and yeah, I don't have any stories for that. Um, except for whenever I was like 4, and it was just me imagining stuff. If you want to hear those stories, I mean, leave a comment below if you really want to hear those stories. I personally don't think they're interesting, but if you want to if you want to know what they are, uh, uh, just leave a comment, I guess, saying bacon. I guess I don't know, but anyway, I guess this video is gonna be my my origin story of what I do now, and why I do the things, and how I do the things, and whatever whatnot. So, let's begin. Oh, where do I begin? Let's talk about how I began to I guess like drugs, my drug journey. So and I'll say why I didn't like it to begin with. So I was raised around parents, duh. But my dad was a cop, and my mom, she was a stickler to rules and stuff like that. And well, I wouldn't say that, but she was a dispatcher and she was a prison guard, so she basically saw a bunch of people in prison and didn't want me to end up like that. So there's one reason why she didn't want me to do that, but my dad, he arrested those people. Well, not specifically those people in the prison, but arrested those people, and uh, my dad didn't want me to end up like that. And thankfully, my dad don't watch my videos. Um, thank the Lord. But yeah, I'll just say this. Don't don't start young. Don't do it young. You may be like, "Oh, but that's where all the freedom is." Don't do it like don't do it like at all young. And I'll say why, because your brain's developing, and if you do it a lot, it could be pretty bad for your brain developing. And I know this, and I'll still do it. But also, whenever you grow up, and once you know, fully develop, well, once your brain fully develops, because at least weed, or, you know, that, za, that stuff, it's psychoactive, meaning that it's, basically to do with the brain and to do with your psyche and stuff like that, your stuff. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a psychiatrist or whatever. I used to want to be one, but no. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm bad at comforting. But, as I was saying, um, yeah, the typical parents, saying all that, but my parents experienced, well, I don't know about my dad. I don't really know about my dad being young. He never really told me about him being young. Never really talked about it. I don't talk to my dad anymore. I know where my dad is. Do I know if he's alive or not? No. Uh, yeah, I don't, because he don't talk to me anymore. I'm not gonna get into all that, but yeah. I'm not gonna throw around dirty laundry. I'm here to talk about my origin story, about why I do the stuff that I do, and why I began to like it and not despise it from how I used to be, from what I said in my videos. Because I know I've said it in at least one video before. So, I had this girlfriend in 8th grade, uh, like right after COVID. Well, no, not right after, but after COVID, I think we were just able to take off the masks. And my dumb self, I still wore it because I was like, oh, I'm ugly, blah, 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 I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, no one's gonna date me, I'm ugly. And, yeah, that type of mentality, you're very vulnerable to stuff. And now I can fully say that I can say to myself without sounding cocky, I'm pretty. I look in the mirror and don't look in disgust. At least at my face. So, I'll just say this. I had this girlfriend in 8th grade, and me and her dated for almost 2 years. I told the story about that, but, anyway, she smoked and vaped and everything like that. And I would always ask her, why do you do this? Why do you do it? Don't you listen to the pep rallies and assemblies that we've had, and all throughout school, saying that, oh, you'll get cancer and stuff like that. And she said yeah, basically said yeah. And I was like, well, why do you do it? And she was like, oh, because and I didn't really understand. And because she wasn't raised the way I was. And yeah, I was raised crappy, but I will say that she was probably raised a little crappier, and that's the reason why she did it that young, which is pretty weird. But anyway, I'm not gonna tell her story. That's her business. But anyway, she did that stuff, and then I was like, oh, I despise that stuff. Every time she would mention it, I would hang up the phone. She would we'd be on FaceTime for like hours upon end, be sleeping on the phone all summer nights and all summer days, everything like that. I would never hang out with friends. She well, no. It would be school days, but anyway, I would I would ask her. I would be like, "Why don't you get me a vape so I can try it? I can see how you do it and everything like that. I can see why you do it and understand you a little bit better." Which sounded good in my brain and, reasonable, and I'm pretty sure it sounds reasonable saying it out loud. Do it so you understand your partner a little bit better that you've dated for a long time and your first serious relationship. And yes, I'm going to say serious because if you date for almost 2 years, I'm going to say that's pretty serious. So, she vaped, and I got a vape from a friend. Believe it or not, I gave 3 condoms for that vape. That was my payment. I had condoms. He had vapes, and yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had condoms. Yeah, Lottie Daw. But I'm not gonna go into all that why I got that. Anyway, on with the story. So, I vaped, and that thing was burnt, and it was burnt, but my friend had one of those you know juice things that you get juice for a vape, and it's normally for the vapes that you refill and everything like that. The type of stuff that gets really that can break very easily. Yeah, I've never had one of those, but my mom did, and she bought like, I don't know, like 5 of those things, and I was like, why do you keep buying them? Why do you keep buying so many of those? And yeah, I don't know why, but anyway. So I got my first ever vape, and nothing. I was expecting, something. I was expecting something, but I ended up just nothing. I was like, maybe I'm not doing it hard enough. Kept on doing it, nothing, nothing at all. I would look up what to do, how to know or something. I would look up how to do it and what happens and what you're supposed to feel like, and it never worked. That was in my sophomore year of high school that I started vaping. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Wow, that was a period in my life. So, oh, well, sophomore. Did I say sophomore? I meant freshman. Started vaping in my freshman year. And, it didn't end well because I did it and, well, as I said, my friend had the juice and I guess he didn't do it correctly. It just wasn't burning. It didn't taste like anything, and I told my girlfriend at the time, and she was like, maybe it's burnt. I don't know. And I told her, well, I said, well, he said he refilled it, and she was like, huh. Okay, well, I'll come over this weekend and I'll try it and see what's up with it. So she came over. By the way, it was an Elf bar. So she came over and she tried it and she was like, "Yeah, that's burnt." And I was like, "Oh, well, huh? Okay then. I don't. I guess I don't really see the point in vaping." So she was like, "Yeah, you probably want to throw this away." So I threw it away, and reasonably so because I was like, uh, "This ain't getting me nowhere." There's like no reason to do this. I was expecting like I basically just listened to everything I was told as a child, and I thought as soon as I took a hit off that vape, I would start balding because of cancer, but no, that wasn't the case. So I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. So fast forward a month or two after that, and she starts bringing up weed, and I'm like, "Whoa, what the heck? That's like a serious drug. You can be arrested for that." Well, at her age, no, you can't. But even at my age, as of right now, I wouldn't be arrested. It would be juvie, but I wouldn't be arrested. Well, actually, I don't think I would. I think it would just be they confiscate it and just say do better. But anyway, so she brings this like tiny, tiny, tiny roach to my house, and I smell it, and I'm like, "Whoa, what the heck? That smells like a skunk." And she was like, "Yeah, but the stronger it smells, the better it is." And it was such a little amount, like there was barely anything in it, and well, there was a tad bit, but whenever she was doing it, I was like, "You gonna let me have any?" Because I swear she brought it and it was like nothing. it was nothing to me because I took like maybe a tiny little hit, and I coughed. And I was like, "Oh, did I do it wrong?" And she was like, "No, you're supposed to cough." And I was like, "What? You're supposed to cough?" So I was like, "Okay." And then I kept on doing it, and she was like, "You know what? Just keep this. Think I hear someone." And no, we didn't do it inside. But yeah, she said she thought she heard someone, and then it didn't do anything. I just kind of got placeboed, and it didn't do a single dang thing. I didn't feel a thing. It was my first time doing it anyway, and normally the first time you don't feel anything anyway. So fast forward like a year, me and the girl are broke. Me and the girl are in a rocky stage of our relationship, and my friend, the tweaker friend from the last video that I made, he had an edible, and or he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna bring an edible," and I was like, "What's an edible?" He was like, "Oh, it's like weed," and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck? You're gonna bring that? You're gonna do that at school?" He was like, "Yeah, why not?" And I was like, well, because it's school," and he was like, "Nah, don't worry about it." I was like, "Okay." So it was my first first semester sophomore year, and I believe it was like the second month. Like, actually, no. Matter of fact, could have been around now, like a year ago. And wait, no, it had to have been like September or October, around then. But I told my friend, you know what? Screw it, I'll do it. And he was like, okay, so uh, I'll bring it tomorrow. And then uh, at that point, I was like, you know what? I gotta feel it. I gotta know what all the hype is about. So he tears me off this tiny little piece of it, and I'm like, what the heck? This can get you like messed up? And he was like, yeah, dude. That little bit with your low tolerance, you never did it before. Well, I never told him about that roach story because I didn't know what it was called. I think he thought I was thinking of a cigarette, like an actual cigarette, but no. So he brought well, he had the whole thing, but he gave me this tiny little piece of an edible, and I ate it. It was like a tiny, like a pinch. Being honest, like a pinch. And well, I ate it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's gonna kick in like probably like 30 minutes later on in class." Me and him and another friend had a class, but me and that another friend didn't really talk that much until like later on. Uh, so I was like, yeah, I don't really feel anything. And then later on, like in third block, like the third hour or second hour after I ate it, I was like, what the heck is that feeling in my head? Uh, I was still like, I could think properly. Like, I could think like a human. I wasn't incoherent or anything like that. It was just like, what the heck is that tingling feeling in my spine? I felt a tingling feeling in my spine. I don't know if this is like the first time feeling or something, but I felt that, and I was like, what the heck am I feeling? And I was like, it may be that. Is this all it is? Is this all it does? What's the hype about it? And I told my friend about it after we got out of school because we played Apex together. And um, he told me, you know what? I got some more. I'll break you off like a half of it. And I was like, okay. I don't know if it'll do anything, but alright. So, um, he broke me off that half of the edible after my first block class, because my first block class, he was a cop. Like, or he was a cop. Like, was. He was retired and he was teaching a law and public safety class. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that in that class just in case if it does hit, and it does hit hard, because he may know about it, and I'll just be scared and stuff like that. So, well, he gave me it after that first block class, and I was excited about it. I was like, yeah, I'm finna feel it. And then, I started to feel the tingling feeling like a little sooner. I was like, whoa, what the heck is this feeling? It was like a tingling feeling, kind of like being tickled in my spine. And I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I couldn't focus on my work because I was focusing on that feeling. Like, I was dead focused on my work, and then I was like, what the heck is this tingling? Like, what, am I turning into Spider-Man or something? It seriously felt like I had the dang Peter tingle. And in that class, the teacher was like, "All right, go get with your lab partners." It was a science class. Go get with your lab partners, and I go get with my partners, and I start telling them, I'm like, I feel like this tingling thing in my spine, but I don't really feel nothing other than that. And he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm feeling it. Oh man, maybe tomorrow I'll just get you a whole one." And I was like, okay. So I get in my third block class, and I feel like I start watching YouTube. Like, I don't do anything. I actually start freaking out, to be honest. I didn't think about it till now, but I felt it just a tad bit. It was like a microdose, but I felt it a tad bit, and I start getting that paranoia, and I'm paranoia naturally. Like, I'm naturally paranoid. And might I tell you, I was still with that girl that I just didn't tell her about it. I was like, you know what, rocky relationship. We're gonna break up soon anyway. Might as well use it to cover up and forget about it anyway. Because I was like, people drink. Uh, I I bet people smoke and get high to forget, and yes, they do. Believe me, they do, and it works. It works. Trust me. I forgot all of Tuesday, November, or could have been this December. I don't know. No, it couldn't have been December. Had to be September. September 23rd of 23, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Uh, I think. Anyway, so I'm I'm telling my friend, I'm like, if this don't do nothing, I'm just gonna get another. I'm just gonna take two, and well, it's the same thing again, but like a tad bit more potent. And I tell my friend the symptoms, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? Fine, I'll get you two tomorrow." Because he thought that it would hit like that, but no, it didn't. I needed two more, and it hit pretty hard the next day, because it was a Tuesday, and I already told the story, but that's whenever I greened out. I greened out off of two edibles at school, and I already told the story. You can I think it's Dim Zaw Candies video. I don't know. I named these videos really weird, so I wouldn't be surprised if I name it something like this, like that video for this video, whatever. Anyway, so I take those two edibles and I green out that day, and I tell my friend, "Oh yeah, I felt it that day," because I had already told the story, so I'm not gonna go into that. But fast forward like a month later, he's like, "Oh yeah, I have this pin," and I'm like, "Oh whoa, what the heck?" Hit the pin, and it's like, whoa, I feel it. And then nowadays, it takes a lot more than one hit off of a pin for me. It takes like 6 for it to really hit. And well, I tell my friend that, and well, I don't tell my friend about the 6, but he watches my videos, so um, yeah. Uh, after the day I greened out, that's whenever I started feeling it. That's whenever everything that was related to Za, I was feeling it. And then my first ever time with the actual stuff was through a Coke can. A Coke can with a hole poked in it, and well, 3 holes poked in it. Drank it. 3 holes poked in it. Basically made a pipe out of it, and it worked. It worked a lot because it felt like that day at school, but whenever you're with friends, you kind of don't green out. And whenever you're at the stage of greening out, and if you're in public and you're at that stage, yeah, you just kind of gotta be experienced with it to not green out. And then once you're experienced with it, you could do it alone daily. And now we're at this point today. I had my own cart for like a solid like maybe week or two. It was almost empty. I got that. I got every bit of use out of that. And well, you know, you know how it goes, how it bees. I guess that's that. Um I'm sorry if this video wasn't very coherent. I tried to make it pretty coherent. Uh, I've been going at this video for at least an hour now. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I think it's 11:30. I started at like 10. Uh, and the video is only like about 30 minutes long. Yeah, and there's barely any cuts in this video, so that's the reason why it's pretty crappy. So, I guess that's that. Moral of the story is don't do it at school. If you do it, don't do it at school, if anything. If you start off with edibles, don't do it at school. Do it at home. It's a lot more comfortable at home. You feel safe at home. You don't feel the stress of doing work at school or at home. So do it at home. If possible, do it on a weekend. Do it on a Friday. Watch the Friday movie. Anyway, I guess that's peace, y'all. Anyway, I guess that's it. So, see ya.